Grade 12 CAT, Hardware Devices, Module 1.2a. We're going to talk about input devices. And your input devices, they allow any ICT device to receive data and instructions. Both are important. Input devices are the first step in any information processing system. If you think of the information processing cycle, input is the first thing that we list. First of all, the keyboard. You've done this in grade 10 and 11, but just to reiterate, it's for typing in text and for giving commands. You think of Control S, Control C, the F keys. There are a lot of commands that can be given by your keyboard as well. The advantage is that it's the fastest way to enter text. It's also easy to learn and easy to use. A fast typing skill is of huge benefit if you can do that. The limitations or disadvantages is that a keyboard is not really designed to be used with GUI interfaces. It was first designed to be used with a DOS interface, which was a text-based operating system. It also takes up a lot of space on your desk. And for some people, if they have physical limitations, they can find it difficult to use. You also do need the typing skills to use it well. So when you're buying a new keyboard, these would be things that you should think about. Ergonomically, is it comfortable to use? Can you rest your wrists somewhere? Or is the position of your hands comfortable when you use it? And then whether you want a wireless keyboard or a cabled keyboard, and there are advantages and disadvantages on both sides. Then problem solving. When your keys are sticky, clean the keyboard with a damp cloth. You can also pop the keys off, although not highly recommended, but you might find that there are crumbs and dirty things underneath. And try not to drink or eat while you're using your keyboard. If your wireless keyboard's not responding, obviously check the batteries. And another thing you can do is just to disconnect and reconnect. Usually the wireless keyboard, the wired keyboard, that's what you would do. On a wireless keyboard, there's a little dongle that plugs into your USB port. You could also try to disconnect and reconnect that. A mouse is our second most important input device. It's made for interacting with the GUI. Remember, GUI means graphical user interface, and it's all the little pictures that you see on your Windows screen. All the actions you can do is to click, double click, right click, scroll and drag. And the mouse can be used while you're pressing a key on the keyboard as well, and you get different commands this way. The advantages are it's easy to learn, it's an effective way to interact with the GUI. And limitations or problems is that you need a fixed workplace and suitable surface area. If you're trying to use it on your bed or on a couch, it could be not work very well. And then there are better devices for drawing or other graphical actions. If you try to draw with a mouse, it's nearly impossible. When you're buying a mouse, consider the ergonomics of the mouse. Is it comfortable to use? Does it feel comfortable in your hands? Is it easy to click all the buttons and so on? And also, do you want a wireless or a cabled mouse? For problem solving, if your mouse is sticky, obviously just clean it. You might want to remove the dust and lint underneath. Sometimes the mice collect a lot of little threads and things or dust underneath, and you could maybe clean it if it's not working well. A wireless mouse, remember to check the batteries, and with a wired mouse you can also try to disconnect and then reconnect it. Now, next input device is your touch screen. This is what you find on all your smartphones, on tablets, and a lot of computers these days. A hybrid computer would have a touch screen as well. The use is that once you've got a touch screen, you don't need a mouse anymore, but you can have a touch screen and still use a mouse. It's the best interface for systems with limited options. And the advantages are that it functions both as a mouse and a keyboard. You can click on the device, and a keyboard can pop up, which you can use as a keyboard. It lends itself to natural input and natural gestures. Its swiping, pinching, and expanding are very intuitive to use. Intuitive means nobody needs to teach you to use it. It's pretty obvious when you use it. You would click, you would touch an icon to make it work, and so on. Usually these devices do not come with manuals. And it also increases the space available for the display, and it increases the usability of the device. Problems or limitations is that an on-screen keyboard can be harder to use than a physical keyboard. You can't feel the keys, and so you may not find it that easy to use. And also some touchscreens are not very responsive, and you need to press quite hard. And the quality of the touch experience also depends on the operating system being used. On-screen keyboards reduce the screen display area once the keyboard pops up, and for some tasks it's not that easy to use a touch screen. A touchpad is different from a touch screen. If you look at the corner here, a touchpad is it's like a built-in mouse on your laptop. A little pad where you can move your finger around to act as if you were moving the mouse around. So it's not always very easy to use, and some people always like to have a mouse because the touchpad doesn't always work very well. So the advantages is you do not have to carry a mouse if you've got a touchpad, and it's pretty much got the same actions as a mouse, and you don't need an extra desk to be able to use it, or surface area. The problems are that it's not as accurate or precise as a mouse. It's also too difficult when you're trying to drag and drop, and also the size of the touchpad is quite small, so if you want to move your mouse from one end to the other of the screen, it can get quite tricky. A scanner is made for capturing image from paper images, and you can also use a scanner to convert a hard copy or a printed text into editable text in a Word document or the like, and you would use OCR, which is optical character recognition, to do that. There are also scanners made to read barcodes. The advantages is it converts documents into digital format for storage. So digital format means that it's a document that you can now store on your hard drive or on a storage device on your computer. You can also convert an image to editable text with OCR. And you can also convert old film photos into digital photos. You'd need a very good scanner for that though. And also it's better for the environment because you're using less paper and ink. Once you've converted a document into a digital format, you don't need to print it again. The limitations are that the quality of the image depends on the quality of the original image. Also, if your scanner is dirty, if you've got fingerprints or dust on the glass, then it can affect the quality. And it works best with single pages. Unless you've got a very fancy scanner, then it can be quite tiring to use these because they can be quite slow, and books will be very time consuming and very tiring to scan. They also take a lot of time for scanning. So the advantages of all these is in an office automation scanner, Large documents can be scanned and then compiled into a single digital file. Once you've got in an office, once you've got the digital copies, you can throw away the hard copies and just save the digital ones, and it saves a lot of office space. Also, a scanned copy of a document can be emailed to other people, and your older documents can then be archived. In a point of sale and database, in a library and point of sale systems, the barcode scanner can be very quick and accurate for input. And then other uses, the number plates of cars can be scanned. When you drive under an e-toll gantry, that is what is happening. They are scanning your number plates. Also, access control systems range from they swipe cards to radio tags, and these are all done with scanning. So problems that can occur with a scanner: you can get errors in image size or quality. Then check the settings on the scanning software. You may have set it so that your dots per inch are too low, and then you get a very blurry image, which is not good. If you have a non-responsive scanner, just check whether it's switched on or not. Check that it is plugged in, and check that you've properly connected it to the USB port. And also, there could be a lock switch somewhere on the scanner. This is made so that when you are transporting the scanner, it does not get damaged. So not all scanners have this, but there could be a lock switch that is off. Okay, another input is a digital camera. We use it to capture images or videos, and it could be an alternative to scanner as a barcode or QR code readers if the camera is integrated with a smartphone. The advantages are you get photos in digital format, it's easy to use, it's not expensive to take a lot of photos, you can instantly view the photos, it's a good video camera, and there are other maybe built-in devices on your camera, and photos are easy to share. The problems is that if you lose the device, your photos are also lost. And also, the quality of the photo depends on how good the camera is. When you're buying a camera, check on the resolution. That means the megapixels. So the number of horizontal pixels and then vertical pixels in the image. That is your resolution. And a minimum of 300 dots per inch to get good images for printing. But if you want to put them on a screen, 72 dots per inch is good enough. Remember, the image quality will depend on the color depth. So the higher the better. 32 bits is currently the maximum. And that's the number of bits that is required to store the color for each pixel in a picture. The sensor size. The sensor is the part of the camera that actually records the photo. From the light coming into the camera, each little dot in your sensor picks up the color and then stores it. And the ISO rating is important. If you want to take lots of photos in dark areas, you need a high ISO rating. Then a webcam. This is a little, on a laptop, it's just a little dot on top of your screen. But you can also get a loose webcam. It will allows you to communicate with video on the internet. Gives you live feeds of events. And you can use it for remote control security. The advantages are they are cheap, they are small, they're built into laptops usually, and they allow you video calls or Skype calls. So you can see the person you're talking to instead of just hearing them. The problems are that they usually have very low resolution and they don't give you good images. And they also need to be connected to a computer in order to work. So if your webcam is unresponsive, check it is plugged in properly. Check that it's switched on, and check that it's selected as the current camera in the software. The webcam software can often be used to test if the webcam is functioning properly, and also to troubleshoot problems. Last of all, the microphone. It allows you to record sound and to communicate. The advantages is you can also record dictation. Some bosses like to dictate letters to their secretaries, and they record it and then give it to them. And you can also give voice commands. You can add the input of sound to a computer, and you can use software to involve sound editing, analysis, or manipulation. And the problems are that built-in microphones don't always have a high quality of sound. You can't really record music with it. Also, you would need to have an ICT device present to record sounds, and they're difficult to use in noisy environments. And this is the work that you can do in the book to cover today's work.